Hey, happy Friday, everyone. Tanay here. And today I want to show you an incredibly powerful ABM play that I've used successfully in the past. And it's actually been one of the highest ROI GTM plays that I've seen. And the reason why I'm showcasing this one is because this one is actually rooted in real data. It was used by a real company, and my job, and at least like the way that my intention is to bring you stuff from the GTM trenches that's actually working. So I'm going to show you in this video how to use Claude Code to get fundraising signals from companies in real time, and then figure out who to reach out to and who not to reach out to. So just a bit of background. So this is a real case study. It was rooted for an Indian client who ran a highly successful business. What they used to do was they used to scrape news, specifically news about organizations that have recently raised money. And as a GTM agency, they provided services to startups and like established businesses, or at least VC funded businesses, where they were a performance based marketing agency. So they help people with outbound and also with ads. And they found out like one of the highest leverage plays was to reach out to companies that have recently raised money. And raising money is usually one of the biggest indications and one of the highest confidence signals that a company is ready to invest in their growth. They're ready to hire. They're probably looking to invest in tools or software, or heavily commit to growing the business because they have cash, and then also they have like a degree of pressure on them to show investors return on investment. And then also they're in a really good position to be taking risks and to be employing growth strategies. So that's where my client steps in. So the way that I want to show you is I want to show this to you with an example. I'm going to use Signalbase for this example. So Signalbase is a signals aggregation service that basically surfaces in real time growth signals for companies, like their funding, or if they got merged and acquires, like M&As, job changes for champions, etc. So it's really valuable for this. I'm not affiliated with them. I mean, I really respect Georgie, and they've built something amazing here. So for this tutorial, I'm going to be using this, and I'm just going to show you how simple it is now in 2026 to be able to do account-based marketing just using Claude Code and services like Signalbase. So let's get into it. So the way that the platform works is essentially on their dashboard, you can pretty much see, let me do a reset of this for now, but on their dashboard, you can pretty much see that they've got a real-time incoming stream of companies that are getting funding. And this is really, really useful for us. But for this demo, because I want to be talking about like my Indian client, I'm going to go and filter this only for Indian companies that have raised money. You can, of course, do this for different software categories. You could probably do it for SaaS, or you could do it for, for financial services, or you could do it for manufacturing companies. You can also filter this down based on the countries that they operate in or the cities. You can see what kind of funding round it is that they got. And then when you click through, you can actually see a little bit more information about the company, the team size, and then also like their past funding details. And also really importantly, like who funded them. So for this example, I'm going to be looking at all of the companies in India who have received funding. So I'm going to act on behalf of my quote unquote client who runs a performance-based marketing agency, and whose job is to basically look at all the companies that have recently raised money, find out a little bit more about what it is that they do, and to see if they're a good fit for the services that we offer, which is outreach, whether that's through cold email or LinkedIn or through outbound phone calls, whatever that is, or paid ads. So those two things. So for that, I'm really happy to say, like, it's got to a point here in 2026 that it can all now be done through AI agents like Claude Code. So let me first show you a working demo of what this looks like, and then I'm gonna, in the last half of this video, I will show you the technical setup of how you can do this for yourself. So first of all, I'm gonna open up Claude Code, and I'm gonna go and simply type my execution command, which is execute workflow.md. Now what this does is basically I've got a, oops, sorry about that. We have to actually call Claude first. Rookie mistake. Yeah, we get Claude up and running on the terminal. Once you see the little guy, this little guy right here, that's when you can say execute workflow.md. So in this workflow, what we're going to be doing is that this is essentially, we can have this run every day, every week, every month, or in fact, we can actually have this run every 15 minutes if that's what your business needs, depending on how critical Signal is for your company. But yeah, Claude gets activated. It goes and connects directly to the API of Signalbase. It looks for all the Indian companies that got funded in the last 14 days. Over here, it's asking me for some permissions. So we go ahead and do that. That's fine. So Claude's going to go connect to the Signalbase API. It's going to look at all the Indian companies that got funded in the last 14 days. And what I'm doing is I've got this Clay table set up, which doesn't have anything at all right now because it's a test just for this, something that I built for this demo. But it's going to go and get out all of the companies that got funded. It's going to go and analyze what sort of companies they are, what they do, and whether or not they'd be a good fit for our marketing services, our performance marketing services. And it's going to qualify them. And if they're a good fit, it's going to actually take the company and it's going to push it all the way over to Slack, where I can enrich the companies, find out the key stakeholders, find out the decision makers, and I can actually reach out to them. And I can also notify my sales team like, hey, there's been a company here that got funded, go and jump on this account right now, give them a call, send them an email saying that, hey, we should talk. So I'm going to let Claude Code go ahead and run this entire execution workflow. And yeah, I'll probably speed up this part of the video, but we're going to let Claude go ahead and do its work right now. So in the first step, what it's doing is that it is connecting to Signalbase's API, and then it is looking for funding signals that consider the date today and goes back in the past looking for all signals for the last 14 days for Indian companies. And then what it does is, this is the key part of this workflow. It sets off parallel searches inside of Exa, which is one of the best company and prospect search tools that I have ever used. And it goes off in parallel, does deep research on these companies, and then goes ahead and then qualifies them whether they're a good fit for our services or not. So we're going to go ahead and let this run for a while, and then we'll resume as soon as this is, it's got some results back. Cool, so it took about 4 minutes, and then what it did was it pulled all of the companies that raised money in the last 14 days, and it came back to me with like a summary of what the fundraising looked like and what does the actual company do. And from here, it actually has a service category classification. So we already know, like as a client, like I already know my ICP, whether that's B2B or B2C. So it's going to do a deep research on how we can be of service to these companies that have recently raised funds. So you can see that we've already got it classifying them as either outbound, like that means that showroom B2B could be outbound, could be really useful for them. And in case of like D2C for pet parents, paid ads, which makes complete sense. So, like let's say Benny's Bowl, which is a pet care company, has just raised a lot of money. They're looking to aggressively expand. They're looking to sell more of their pet products, right? So that's the perfect time to bring on a highly reputable and authoritative, proven paid ads company on board, like a performance marketing company on board. So you can see that this is how it works. And then what it did was it sent all of these qualified leads. So out of all the 25 whatever companies, it disqualified 50% of them and then sent 11 qualified leads to Clay in parallel. So we can take a look now inside of Clay. This table was previously blank, but now, boom, look at this. We've got the company name, we've got the raise date, we've got how much money they raised. We have the company's LinkedIn URL, so we can enrich them, find people who work there, etc. And then also in the service category, we know the best way to serve these companies, whether that's through running ads for them or doing outbound for them. And of course, like we've got a justification for why the AI feels, or at least why does Claude Code feel that we can be of service to them, because they're B2B. Okay, that means that they're ready to go and do outbound and get more suppliers. So then we're generating like a pitch. Claude Code has also generated a pitch over here, which is really cool. I mean, we're not going to send this exact same pitch, but I mean, we wouldn't rely on AI to do something as important as this, but this is highly valuable for our sales team. So rather than going and researching for hours, they already know like, hey, this is kind of the pitch that they have to create their sales process, like their ABM strategy around. And then finally, what we do is we summarize everything, and then we send a message to our Slack channel where we notify our SDRs and our sales team like, hey, someone has just raised funding. You need to start reaching out to them right now. And the beauty of Claude Code is like the way it's set up, we can actually have this done every day. We can run this using cron jobs. We can probably have this run every 15 minutes, or, if it's not that urgent, we can have this run once a week, but that completely depends on you and your business. So you can see how a process that probably would have taken hours, like tens of hours of manual work, has now been compressed by a single AI agent that knows exactly what information to fetch and does its own qualification and fit scoring. It does all of that for you, and then it can save your sales team so much time. And yeah, from here, you can probably take this idea and you can scale this out to whatever is important, like whichever signal is important for your company by directly connecting it to tools like Signalbase. So hopefully all of that helps. And notice that I didn't write a single line of code for this, and I didn't have to set up any sort of like complicated Clay tables. It's all agentic. So in the last half of this video, I'm just going to talk about like the technical setup, about how to do this. And most of this is pretty done for you. So here's how I set this up. So inside of Signalbase, go ahead and like you can sign up for a trial with them. And then what you can do is when you're signed in, you can probably go to your account. And then from here, you can go into your API. You can grab an API key. And then what you can do is like inside of Claude Code, you can say, hey, Claude Code, here's my API key for Signalbase. And please take a look at the Signalbase API documentation to figure out how to connect to the API and grab signals in real time. So you can send Claude Code the link to this documentation page, and it will go and it will crawl through and completely understand everything that it needs to know from a technical point of view. How does it make a request to Signalbase and how to display the information intelligently for you. And then the actual Claude project is pretty straightforward. There's an MD file over here called workflow.md. And essentially, I'm happy to share this with you, by the way, if you need to, so you can change and modify this for your use case. But inside this workflow.md file, I have a complete list of all the instructions that I need Claude to follow to find out who just got invested, like which company got investments and what are they doing, what kind of business are they, and whether they're a good fit for our business or not. So it has a complete list over here that I can simply plug and play into Claude Code. So I'm happy to share all these prompts with you if necessary. Just let me know in the comments. More than happy to do that. But hopefully all of this is valuable for your business. I know it is valuable for ours. Like ABM and signals research is such an important part of GTM engineering. It's so important to be reaching out to businesses, not just like by personalizing your messages, but also by using signals that makes the message relevant to them, not just personalized, but relevant to what it is that the business challenges that they're facing, probably the pains that they're experiencing in their business, or at least like the goals that they have to grow. So we can make our messages timely, we can make them relevant, and because of that, we can make them convert. So hopefully all of that has made sense. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, it was my pleasure to bring to you this GTM play, and hope it can benefit your organization as well. Thanks.